Welcome everyone to another Spotlight video with, of course, the one and only. Is it Jace? Have I said that right?
Jace, yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody actually get that name wrong?
Not really. It's not too bad to pronounce, to be fair.
Yeah, I always make sure because I don't want to mispronounce any names. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Absolutely, and stuff like that. But Jace, how you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Good. How's the week been for yourself?
Very simple. Quite a bit of training. Working. And that's mainly it.
Yeah, easy enough, simple show and stuff like that. So, do you want to tell people how this is obviously all come about you being here?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, do you want to tell people how this has all come about? How you ended up on the show?
Mainly just shot a message your way. Wanted to kind of get my name out there. And here I am.
Here you are, mate. Here you are. I do appreciate, all this show's obviously called Spotlight is on, mate. So the spotlight obviously is on you. So let's start at the beginning, mate. How did it obviously all begin that you wanted to get into wrestling?
So I wanted to get into wrestling from a very young age. I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 4 or 5 years old. And I've grew up on the old WWE, like the Ruthless Aggression era, and then once around 2010 hit, I started getting into the later years of TNA, like Impact and all that, because it will come on Challenge, which is obviously a station in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So got into wrestling throughout all that, and then I'd watched a load of UK indie promotions. I was a big fan of What Culture's WCPW
Mm-hmm. Yep.
when they were around 2016 era. But when it came to actually wanting to step into the ring, it had always been a thing that was on my mind to do, but it was either I didn't know where to go or I didn't know how much it would cost. And for me, I currently train at the LWF, Lancashire Wrestling Federation, or Foundation. I forget what the F actually stands for.
Federation.
Um, but um, but I found them just on a Google search. I had searched up a load of different ones. I think I searched up Rascals. I searched up Future Shock, Claw, all the ones kind of around the area that I live in. And then when I came across LWF, they were they were affordable. They are affordable, and it's very easy for me to get to. So it makes it worth it for me. Um, and I kind of just took it on a whim. I just kind of thought, if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it. So I just shot them a message asking if I could come down. They were very welcoming, and I've been there for just under a year now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I say that's my main kind of reason for wanting to get into wrestling, because of the childhood connection that I had with growing up with wrestling, as kind of an escape from everything else, like school and everything. Um, so I just kind of used that, and then once I found out about wrestling schools, I figured, why not?
There you go. And you mentioned obviously there. What was that first training session like?
First training session. So I was welcomed in near enough straight away by Ethan, who's one of the directors of the LWF, one of the directors and one of the trainers. I think my first couple of sessions I did at the LWF, it was with Ethan and Chad Austin. And for a good couple of weeks, we had Maddie Morgan doing a lot of the training sessions as well. Um, and it's one of those where I did feel very nervous going in, because for me, I'm quite a quiet person.
Mm-hmm.
But being welcomed in by everyone, it made it somewhat easier. like people coming up to you, shaking your hand, saying like welcome or nice to meet you, all that. Like I had a lot of that from people who are still in the academy as well, to like people who are on main shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what was it like? Like being? Have you actually been on shows yet?
Yeah, so I've just done my first. So I did an academy show back in February, and I've just done my first main show back at the start of this month. Yeah, start of the month.
Okay. And what's the process, obviously, for you being on shows? Is it like a decision from like the head trainer, or is it like a combination of things?
So it's a combination of things mainly for us and for what it'll be with a lot of the places. It's like you have to excuse the background noise. There's a lot of like motorbikes that like ride down the street for whatever reason. But for the process, it's like it's a combination of like appearances that training, because if you're not going to show up to training, why would they book you mainly? Because you're obviously not showing um that you
Like
kind of,
willingness.
yeah. But it's stuff like that, and I got booked on. I think for these shows, like the academy show and then the main shows, there's like it's like a group process because there's a group of directors.
Hmm.
So it could be one person's decision. I think it could be one person's decision, or it could be another's. Um, but I got told by like one of the main directors for the main show that I was getting booked, and then for different shows, it's run. I think it's run by a different director. I could be wrong, but um, it it works out like that, where it's like kind of a group effort.
Okay. And what was that experience like? Do you know what I mean? Being obviously on shows.
It's honestly life changing for me personally. So with the academy show, we call Mutiny. We ran it out of the actual training facility that we have, and we fit about a good 80 to 100 people in there.
Hmm.
So doing a match in front of that, it's so surreal. And when you get up to the main shows, there's so many more people who come to these shows, because the LWF is just it's such a popular company. I'd like to believe, and there's so many people who come to these shows, and like seeing the amount of people, again, life changing. It's surreal. Just to see how many people are there to see the talent for the card, and me being on the main show, I'm just lucky enough to be on that card.
Absolutely. What was the emotions like after obviously the main show you were on?
So for my main show, I think I remember getting like behind the curtain, and I just completely broke down. Like just out of like pure happiness, mainly because I was given such a good opportunity. Um, and the appreciation you get backstage from everyone, it's so amazing. Like everyone, it's like the LWF is like a family, and like the amount of appreciation that you get from everyone who's watching the match, like it's an amazing feeling.
Absolutely. So your character is the Cosmic Diamond. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
That's right.
Yep. And how did obviously all that come about?
So we did one of my first training sessions with Maddie Morgan. She kind of sat us down and she talked about like character work and everything, like how to decide on the character. And it kind of like lit a spark in me to kind of like think, even though I'm probably nowhere near shows yet, um, I want to kind of get a character ready. So for me, like the whole cosmic stuff, it's kind of intriguing to me. So I put that into ChatGPT, and I kind of gave it like an idea of kind of what I want. Um, and it came out with like a bunch of different things, but I landed on the Cosmic Diamond because it's a good name for me. It rings off the tongue, and then it gives that babyface feel because that's what I wanted to go for from the start. I wanted to be a babyface. I wanted to just be a nice guy who shows he can also be like a fighter and an underdog and all that. So the Cosmic Diamond feels like that. With Jace Nova, it's the Jace part is like very close to my first name.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seemed natural to do that. And then for the Nova bit, again, ChatGPT just gave me a bunch of stuff linked with like the whole cosmic thing. I put Jace and Nova together and started saying it like a couple of times, and it just sounded right. So I figured, why not just go with Cosmic Diamond, Jace Nova?
I mean, it has got a ring to it. You've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, talk me through what a typical training session is for you.
So typically, training sessions for us, they can vary on who's running them because it's typically ran by, I want to say, 3 to 4 different people, depending on the day. On the days that I normally go, the person who does it is Paul. He's one of the directors, and he's one half of the tag team Long Stars.
Yeah.
He kind of gets us to do like a basic warm up drill, which is like it could include like push ups, basic core workouts like push ups, sit ups, squats, all that. And there's been times where we do like stuff like squat lock ups, and then part of the warm up will be your basic rolls and bumps, so front roll, back roll, all of that, and then your back bump, your flip bumps, and your front bumps. Um, with like how structured it is when it gets to the main part of the sessions, we have been going through like the basics, but realistically, the basics for us is like the hardest thing to master because everyone wants to come into wrestling and they want to do moves and they want to look really cool by doing all these fancy moves and all that. Which I get. I'm one of those that wanted to do a lot of the moves as well. But when you want to learn the basics, it can be very fun to learn the basics at the same time because you're learning about the main fundamentals for a wrestling match, which is just perfect for me. So a lot a lot of poll sessions will be around the basics as well as anyone else who you work with.
Okay.
Um, so that's typically what would go on in a training session.
Okay. You kind of touched on it a little bit there, but what's been the hardest thing to learn?
Hardest bit, um, for me personally, like we do a thing called up and overs, and it's the practice of like running up to a turnbuckle and kind of jumping. So in wrestling, you'll see it a lot where they get whipped into a corner and they kind of jump over their opponent. You kind of got to learn how to do that without the person there. Just kind of get your legs high enough and far out. That's been a tough thing for me to learn. Um, I'd say it's one of the tougher things, even though it sounds, as I say, it's basic. It's one of the basics. It's one of the basic fundamentals in a wrestling match. But again, for me, it's one of the hardest things I've had to learn because yeah, there's so much to actually go into it. It's like the positioning and how high you have to jump and everything in between.
Okay, so one of the things we like to do here on the show is we like to play a little game. So I've got a list
Okay.
of I've got a list of categories here, and I want you to think of the first wrestler that comes to your mind. It could be in WWE, AEW, could be absolutely
Yeah.
anybody. The only rule is you can't use the same wrestler twice. Is that all right?
Okay, that's okay.
So if I give you the word strength, who do you think of?
Over family.
Yeah, straight away. What about speed?
Will Ospreay.
Okay. What about high flying ability? Bearing in mind you can't say will now.
Oh. My mind's going blank on this. High flying Ray Phoenix,
Okay. Who's got on the mic?
MJF.
Yeah. Who's got the best entrance? This could include music.
Ooh, ooh. Oh, I can't say Ogafemi again. Best entrance. Tell you what, I'm gonna go a bit like close to home with this, and it's not even out of bias. It's just because I just love the vibe of it. We have a wrestler in the LWF called Party Boy. His entrance is one of my favorites to watch.
Okay. What about storytelling?
Hangman Adam Page.
Okay. And last one, who would you say is underrated? Who doesn't get the love?
I feel like he's getting a lot more love now than he did when he was in his old gimmick. But Ludwig Kaiser.
Okay, interesting. I see where you go with that. Yeah, I kind of like that one. So, going back obviously to your career in wrestling, how do you
Yeah.
juggle wrestling life and personal life? Because I imagine that's not easy.
So my work is very like it. I've been blessed with my work at the minute because they've been really flexible to my training days. Where it comes to shows, it's a bit it treads a little bit more difficultly, as I have to like ask in advance and I have to kind of hope and pray that I get the day off. But a lot of the time they will give me the day off for it, for like most of the things that I want to go for. As for like just outside personal life, it's not too bad. Like I'm not the most outgoing person in the world. I'd love to be, but like at the moment, I'm more. I want to say sheltered at the same time, but I do like to go out and experience everything outside of my house. um, so I think at the minute it's not been too bad. Like it's not being too hard to like balance the wrestling with my personal life and with work life.
Okay. I can't wait for this video to go out, but I'm going to ask you the question. Do you have a favorite coach?
Oh, a favorite coat. I love them all equally. So I can't pick a favorite because I love them all equally because they've given me like equal amount of opportunity.
Okay, interesting. So, if I was to ask somebody you train with, how would they actually describe you as a person?
So a lot of the time I want to say um I'd say like hardworking. Like I don't want to give myself too much of a big ego, but I'd like to say I'm quite a hard like they'd probably describe me as quite a hard worker. And very determined to get get things right. Um, Paul is one of them, and I honestly appreciate Paul a lot, like a lot throughout my journey through training. Um, because he always comes up to me and tells me like I obviously don't have to nail things first time, and I don't have to be perfect at a certain thing, but he always tells me I'm doing great, and he's proud of how far I've come. As do all of them, to be fair. Um, as when it comes to like outside of like coaches and trainers, when I go to like my friends, like I've get like in the like 10 to 11 months that I've been training, I've gained so many really close friends. Like I won't use their real names because I did ask them if they minded, but they want me to call them by the character name. So I've got two friends whose called Magni and Modi. They've got a kind of Viking gimmick, a Viking character at the minute, a Viking tag team character. That's it. But them two are like two of my closest friends. In training, they probably describe me the same way as being like hard work and sometimes quite emotional when I need to be, but when it comes to that, like Blake's another one he's tremendous as well. I worked my first match with Blake in a triple threat. Blake was one of the guys in the match, and he's such a tremendous wrestler himself. And then I've got another one who I'll call by his character name, but I don't know how. I don't know if he wants me to call him by his real name, so I'll just stick to the character name. But he's called Sam Clancy. He's been like one of my closest friends. Like are a lot of them in training. They'll probably describe me around the same way as everyone else, if that makes sense. Where they'll be then nice about it, and I am honestly like appreciative of like everyone that I've trained with because I don't think I'd be where I am without everyone who's at the LWF at the minute.
Absolutely. So for people obviously who's not familiar with the LWF, what
Yeah,
can fans expect for a typical show?
a lot of energy. Like That's the best way to describe it. The LWF shows are amazing. It's an amazing atmosphere. It's family friendly, so we encourage kids to come along to these shows, make as much noise as possible. Because the shows can get very energetic. We've got some amazing wrestlers who are in these main shows. We've got we've got a show coming up in June. I'm not sure when this is coming out, so it could be it's June 8th. This June 8th, I think, or June 7th.
Give me a second. Please
One of
continue.
those, and it's on a Sunday. Um, but we've got some amazing debuts coming up on that show. As I'd say, Magni and Modi, who are well deserved of this debut. They're
June
debuting
7th.
on the show. June 7th, that's it. We've got them two debuting. We've got a girl debuting called Summer Sky. She's absolutely amazing. She's been on a few of the Academy shows. And then we've got the Saturday Night Temptations coming over from America. Um, they're actually defending their American promotion tag team championships over here, so that is an amazing thing for that. But as for like the atmosphere of the shows, it's something that adults and kids can both enjoy like equally.
Okay, so a lot of people obviously watch this stuff and thinking about getting into wrestling. What would you say to them?
Um, I'd honestly I'd honestly say go for it if you really want to get into wrestling, even if it's just something to try as like a hobby, it's well encouraged because we we do like we accept a load of people. Like the LWF accepts like near enough everyone. Like it's it's a well established business and it's so friendly as well. Like you'll get these companies who like they welcome everyone in and everyone's dead friendly with you. Obviously I've only trained at the LWF, so that's my wrestling experience in a whole. But that's like genuinely what I can say. Like everyone's so friendly, everyone's safe to work with, and it's just such a fun sport to do.
Absolutely. So a few little more questions, mate, and begin to wind down and stuff like that. Obviously, you've
Yeah.
been on main shows now. I mean, what's the goal for you now? What's that next step? What you want to do?
Honestly, I'd love to just build up my resume as like with my matches, and then once I'm up to a level that I can kind of like show off a good enough highlight reel, I'd love to like travel around the UK. I'd love to go abroad at some point. honestly, I'd love to like just build on myself. That's probably my number one goal at the minute.
Okay. What about championship? Is that something you obviously like to do as well?
I would love to. That will probably come. Not I'm not too sure if I'm completely honest, but I'd love to win a title one day.
Okay, never say never. Jace, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, mate. Hope you've enjoyed yourself today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you may see the QR code above Jace's head. If you scan that QR code, that will take you to his Instagram. Go and support him. I do believe he posts a lot of stuff on there.
I do post a good amount, like when I can.
Absolutely. So yeah, obviously our links are there. Go check out LWF. One thing I always like to do in this is I let the guests do the outro, so you can say anything you want, you can promote anything you want, and we'll end the stream. Jace, take it away.
Thank you very much for watching. If anyone can, please go and support the LWF. It's such an amazing company, and yes, we'll see you later.
Cheers for watching, guys.